And today I'm going to be brewing my pale ale, and I'm going to take it and try to make it into a light beer or an ultra light beer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and brew it and hopefully get enough alcohol in it that when I add water to it, that it'll still have at least 4% alcohol whenever it's done. I'm going to use some Calypso hops, and I'm only going to use a half an ounce in there total. And I will be back with the rest of the recipe in just a moment. Guys, I'm back, and as I was telling you, I'm making a pale ale, and this here is, I believe, a German pale ale crushed malts right here. And I've also got a Gambrinus honey malts, 1 pound of that, and 1 pound of Belgian biscuit malts. I told you I was going to be using some Calypso hops, and I've got 1 ounce of this, but I decided to make it friendly for my wife as well. She doesn't like so much hops in her beer, so I'm only going to use half of this in here. I'm going to use a quarter of it at about 45 minutes, and then I'm going to use a quarter of it at the last 5 to 10 minutes. And when I add that last 5 to 10 minutes of Calypso hops, I'm also going to add an entire lemon rind, a large lemon rind. And it's just the yellow. You don't want the pulp in it, you just want the yellow. And I'm going to try to put some honey, or not honey, but I'm going to try to put some lemon in there for a crisp flavor from that. And I'll be back in just a moment. Guys, I'm starting to fill up my water, and I'm going to use 6 gallons of hot water. And as I said before, my water comes out at exactly 130 degrees when it comes out of the faucet. I need to get this up to 168, or I'm sorry, 158. That's where I need to get this to. But anyways, I'll be back shortly when I get this filled up and get the grains set inside. And guys, I don't have a false bottom to keep my bag and my grains from getting scorched on the bottom of this. So what I use is this. That's all I need. And that's a deep fryer pan for our deep fryer that we got, and it works perfectly. And what I'll do is I'll put that in here, and then I'll put my bag in here, and then I'll let my water get to temperature. I'll be back in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and put the bag in here, and we're going to check the water temperature. It hasn't been in here but 5 minutes, but I want to see where it's at right now because I want it to get around 160 degrees before I throw my grains in there. And I'll be back in just a moment. Alright guys, the water hasn't even been on here for 5-6 minutes, and it's already up to 137. I'm going to go ahead and turn the temperature up. You can see the temperature's on low. I don't really have it on high. I'm going to go ahead and turn the temperature up and try to get this thing up to 165 degrees. And once I get it to 165 degrees, I'm going to drop my grain in here, which it should drop my temperature down to 155, 57, somewhere around there. As long as between 150 and 155 while I'm doing the sacrificial rate, that'll be fine. But I'm going to go ahead and get that done and get off of here and try to get it up to par right now. I'll see you in a minute. Yes, guys, I am drinking a Michelob Ultra because, like I said, I'm on a ketogenic diet, and that's why I'm brewing this right here. I'm going to try to make it an ultra light or a light beer. Hopefully it works out. We'll see. But like I said, you can't make a beer unless you're drinking a beer, and I'll be back shortly. All right, guys, it's just about there. Only got a few more degrees to go. I'm going to go ahead and let it get hot to where it needs to be, and when I get back, I will be putting in my pale ale malts and my other malts to go in here, and I'll start getting that stirred up so I can get it ready for the sacrificial. We'll be back in a moment. Okay, now I'm adding in my pale ale malts right now. I'm going to add this in a little bit at a time, and then I'm going to give it a stir with my mash stick here just to get it all broke up because we don't want no dough balls inside of it. And really when you're dealing with bowl in a bag, you don't have too much of a problem with that. But it's always good practice to go ahead and get it stirred up a bit. That way you don't have anything, just in case. I haven't had an issue with that at all, really. Just stick it in there and just swirl it around a little bit, make sure ain't nothing sticking together. Go ahead and dump this whole thing in here. And that was 8 pounds of German pale malts. Let me get the rest of this out of here. And this smells delicious. It tasted pretty good too. Got a real biscuity flavor to it to me for some reason. I wasn't expecting it to have a biscuit flavor, but it's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and get this here stirred up, and then I'm going to add my Belgian biscuit malts and my Gambrinus honey malts in here.
Already turning a beautiful color. Put in the Belgian biscuit malts to give it a little bit of a darker color. Not too dark, but it'll be a little bit of a darker color. We'll get it all stirred up in here as well. It doesn't really take a whole lot to stir this up because there's a lot of water to grain ratio when you're doing bull in a bag, and the mess is so much easier to clean up. Eventually, I may get into doing the mash tuns and stuff like that, but I find this to be really, really easy for me. I also like doing extract brews as well, but I really like doing this better than extract. The flavors are a lot better, the smells are a lot better, and you have so much more control over what's going in here. And I'm putting in 1 pound of my Gambris honey malts, and I hope this gives it a great flavor. And I'll get this to around 154 and 154, 155. Anything over 148 degrees, between 148 and 155, I believe, is fine to mash out with. And I'll mash it out for about, or sacrificial. I'll do the sacrificial for about anywhere between 80 to 90 minutes. And that's to help it get out all them sugars, because we want a lot of sugars in this, and we want all them sugars to become alcohol, and about 6% alcohol when we're done. I'm hoping that's what it's going to turn out to be. Not sure that's what it's going to turn out to be, but I'm hoping that's what it turns out to be. If it comes out to be about 6% alcohol, then I can add more water and bring it down to about 4.5%, 5% alcohol. And that will also lower the carbs in it, the amount of sugars and stuff that each individual beer has. And that will help out and help out with making it a light beer. But I'm going to check the temperature of this right now and see what we got going on. Okay, it looks like we're at around 157, 158 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and let this cool down a little bit more, and then I'm going to put the lid on it as soon as it gets down to 155. And I will be back as soon as I get done with the sacrificial and getting ready to boil, and I'll see you then. And now the sacrificial is over, and I'm draining the grain. I may add a little bit of water on here to help flush out some of the sugars that's still inside the grain. But I'm going to sit here and let it drain for a little bit, and maybe take about 2 cups of water to rinse out some of the grain. I don't want to get too much of the water in there, because then it will lower the amount of alcohol in it. I'm going to lower the alcohol levels anyway, but I want to see what this will turn out like with the right amount of water in it. That way I'll know what it's going to be like once I do it for the regular style after I'm doing my diet. Then that way I'll know exactly how much alcohol this thing will have, and how much carbs and everything. And there is a website where you can check to see how many carbs as per alcohol level that you have. It will tell you pretty close how many carbs is in this thing. You know, it's for people who are watching their diet like I am. You know, even though I am watching my diet, I still enjoy beer, and it's nice to be able to implement beer into my diet on an occasion. It's something that I love, and I really enjoy making it. So it's just something fun to do, and even if I got to do it on a low carb basis, I will do it. And anyways, I'll be back shortly as soon as I start to boil. Guys, I'm back. I just removed the grain bag out of here. I went ahead and threw my grain bag away because it's so old, and I've got another one, so I'm done with that grain bag. I'm gonna go ahead and use the new one that I got next time I make some more beer. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys this color on this, and it has a nice dark honey color, almost a caramel color, if not caramel, but the honey malts gave it this color, and I'm really digging this color, and I can't wait to see it done. It's going to be an off honey color. I know it will be. It's going to be a delicious, very delicious beer, and just by tasting it now, I may not even have to add any extra water to it. It would be great if I don't have to, but there's always the possibility that I'm going to. I'm going to check out the alcohol volume when this thing's done, and that's going to tell me more. But anyways, I am marveling at the color of this beer. Of the wort. That is what this is called right now, is the wort. And I am really digging this color. Yeah. I'll be back shortly as soon as the boil starts. And 15 minutes after, say about 45 minutes into the boil, I'm going to add 7 grams of hops. And then at the last 5 minutes, I'm going to add 7 more grams of hops and some lemon rinds, because I want to give it a lemon zest to this beer, and just to experiment and see what it turns out to be like. And that's the whole fun of making your own beer. It's having control over it, doing certain things, trying new flavors. You know, it's probably nothing that somebody else hasn't already done, but it's the first time I've ever done it. And I want to check it out just to see what it's like. And I'll be back shortly. Yes, guys, while I am waiting for my beer to continue to boil, I decided to fry me up a couple pieces of chicken thighs. And yes, that is butter. And that's the beauty of the ketogenic diet. The only problem is if you eat carbohydrates with this much fat, carbohydrates causes an insulin boost in your body, and insulin causes you to store fat. You can't eat this and carbohydrates at the same time, or at least not in a quantity that most people wish they could, and expect to lose weight, because it will cause you to gain the fat, or at least a lot of the fat that you're eating here. But anyways, I'll be back shortly. I'm starving. Okay, everybody, it is now the first 15 minutes have passed on the boil, and I am going to grab my first 7 grams of Calypso hops, and I'm going to drop it inside of here. Like I said, this is 7 grams. I'm going to do 7 grams at the 45-minute boil, and I'm going to do 7 grams in the 5-minute boil. Yeah, baby, I'll get you something to drink in just a moment. And I'll get the last 7 grams in the last 5 minutes, along with my lemon rinds as well. I'll see you then. Chicken. It's getting close to getting done. I'm starving too. Alright guys, I'm down to the last 5 minutes. It's a little over 5 minutes, but it's close enough. And I'm going to drop in the last 7 grams of my hops. And I'm going to drop in that entire peel of the lemon from that large lemon that I had. And I'm going to let it boil for the next 5 minutes. And then I'm going to go ahead and cool it off in the bathtub in some ice water. And then once it's down to about 75 degrees, I'll be back and I'll drop it in the bucket and I'll show you what I do then. And as I said, always make sure that your equipment has been sanitized, and there's some Star San. And everything here has been sanitized. And I also have my extra jug left over, like I always do, just in case I need to clean something in a quick-like manner. I'll be back shortly when I'm dumping my beer into my fermenter. Okay, guys, I'm back, and I'm sure you've seen this before. This is where I dump the beer into the fermenter, basically through the screen. This way it catches everything that I put in it. Let's go ahead and start dumping it in there now. As you see, there wasn't a whole lot of dredge in the bottom of that. It was pretty much because I only used about a ½ ounce of hops. As you can see, there's only a very little bit of the hops that's in here, and it's like already pretty much drained. I really don't have to do too much to it. The reason I didn't put in a whole lot of lemon peel was because the hops itself has a lemony aroma to it. So I didn't want to overdo the lemon. Now, if I feel that it's not got enough lemon flavor to it whenever I go to check it after the first week in the main fermenter, I will add some more lemon peel to it during my secondary fermentation. I'm going to go ahead and get this here and pull this here off. And I'm going to check the alcohol volume in this, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm not sure if you can tell. It is sitting at 1.050, and I'm not going to add any water to that. I'm just going to leave it as it is, and I'm going to go ahead and add the yeast into the fermenter. And I did start with a US Cephal 05, and the reason is because this sucker right here eats up pretty much all the sugars that's in there, and that actually gives me a great amount of alcohol when it's all done. I'm going to go ahead and add that to that, and I'm going to stick this bucket of beer into the closet and let it ferment for 1 week. And as I said earlier, I'm going to check it after that, and then I'm going to add some more lemon peel if it needs it. If not, I'm just going to let it sit for another week, and after that I'll bottle it up and let it sit in the bottles for a week or two, and then give you guys a show on YouTube. Y'all have a good one and keep brewing.